Maybe we're not Scotch guys, man.
I got like cardboard, if that makes sense.
To me,
Like wood and cardboard.
if I had to put it in the simplest terms, I would say this is like water and bitterness to me. Maybe like wet cardboard. Welcome back to Spirits Collective.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Aiden.
And this is the show where we all learn to drink together.
And today, we got Johnnie Walker Black Label for you guys.
A Scotch just for you guys.
Johnnie Walker Black Label is a blended Scotch whiskey, which means that it's distilled, blended, and bottled in Scotland. This bottle is aged 12 years, which is the most aged bottle we've had on the show so far. It is 80 proof or 40 ABV, 40% ABV. This bottle is actually blended from more than 40 malt and grain whiskeys. It's pretty crazy. So Alex, do you have any experience with Black Label?
Just from your wedding. I didn't have any.
Yeah,
you had a bottle. You had a bottle on every table. That's all I remember.
For me, I feel like Black Label has always kind of been there. Like, I've always known about it. For some reason, it was something that we would drink at get-togethers, or my parents and his parents and stuff would drink at get-togethers. So yeah, I tried it with what do you call it, mineral water one time. I thought it was pretty good. So I was like, I'll have Black Label for my wedding, and we ended up putting one on each table. Now that we were kind of like more experienced, I kind of realized that Black Label is not really like a big deal.
I was gonna say, kind of like a lot of the big brands. It's accessible and it's at that 80 proof, which is very consumer friendly for beginners. But we'll see. I am excited. I know it's a big brand. It's a big bottle. So we'll see.
I gotta say that they do a good job of making themselves look important. Like, do you know what
with like their tiers, their variations,
their little
the red,
tiers
the black, green.
Like, just
I'm not sure that they're in that order, but
just like Johnnie Walker Black Label, it just sounds so like, I don't know, sophisticated. Something about it. They have all their little Game of Thrones lineups and all this crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, as far as the bottle goes, I think like when you really look at it, it's a pretty basic bottle.
Yeah. I'd agree with you. We're sort of beginners, but we have a pretty decent collection already. So we've already seen some pretty cool bottles. And this one's at the bottom of the list for me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, for something about it feels like iconic. I don't know what it is, but
the name and the black is always like sexy. Like you paint anything black, your car is black, this is black, that's black. It's very sophisticated. It's basic, but I'm still drawn to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally get you.
But what do you think? Should we dive in?
Well, let's get in there. And sadly, there's nothing to listen to. We just got a regular screw top. So, all right. So we got our Black Label poured.
Right off the bat, I have to say it's a lot lighter than I thought it would be.
I would have thought it would be a lot darker, but it is 40 proof, so you don't know how much cutting they actually did.
That's true, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it looks pretty straightforward. Like we said, it's pretty light.
The tears are dropping pretty quickly for me.
Yeah, they are.
So
it's not too thick.
I'm expecting a thinner. It's not so viscous as our friend would say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to smell this.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. For those of you drinking with us, Black Label, Johnnie Walker.
All right.
I got a lot of buttery, I'd say butterscotch notes, like just right off the bat.
For some reason, maybe it's because it's a Scotch, but I feel like we haven't smelled this in a long time. Like, we've been getting a lot of sweeter type of like notes.
Well, this was, like I said, this was a lot of very buttery for me.
This is very, like, this takes me back to, like, Monkey Shoulder, dude.
Okay.
But Monkey Shoulder is also a Scotch.
Yeah, I can't remember Monkey Shoulder too well.
But I kind of,
Man, I'm just getting, like, butterscotch. I'm going to try and get something else for you guys.
It's also a little rougher
Not for me. I'm not feeling it in my nostrils nor in my eyeballs.
I'm getting more of like a caramel sweetness.
Yeah, I'd say it's caramel, like butterscotch and caramel. Which
Overall,
probably very similar.
it's not a terrible smell.
I think it's pleasant.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. I have to say though, it's not as exciting.
Yeah, it's not as exciting.
It's not as exciting as I thought it would be.
And honestly, the smell is making me a little less excited for the taste. This is a Scotch. We haven't had a Scotch since Monkey Shoulder. But a lot of factors go into that. We're a lot younger in the channel when we tried
a
Monkey
little more
Shoulder.
experienced.
Yeah, we enjoy it a lot more
Yeah.
now. We're a lot less hesitant when we're tasting. So
It has to be good, like simple,
yeah,
straight to the point, smooth. You know what I mean?
I don't see a lot of people sipping this. I see a lot of people mixing this.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a taste.
Okay. Cheers.
Here goes the taste. Johnnie Walker Black Label. That's definitely different. There's like a nice sweet finish that I'm getting
Yeah,
now.
the finish I'm really digging as we were talking.
But the taste and like everything else was just, to me, it was just, there wasn't a whole lot of flavor, and what was there was a little bit bitter.
Johnnie Walker, I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, the finish is very pleasant. I'm really digging it.
Finish is really good.
But I'm gonna go in for one more sip.
There's just not a lot there.
Yeah, I'd say it's watery.
It's very
Got
watery.
cardboard again. I don't know how to explain it. A little bit of the butterscotch, and now that finish is kicking in again.
It's not the worst, but I mean, I feel like there's a lot.
Hold on.
Go for it.
How much is this bottle? Or a standard bottle? This is the liter, right? But how much is a standard 750 ml bottle?
All right, so a bottle like this in South Texas will run you $40, 750 ml. The liter is a little bit more
bigger.
expensive, yeah. So, any other thoughts?
So for $40, and just to note, that finish is starting to go away already. As pleasant as it was, it's starting to go away. I'm pretty disappointed for $40. Like, that's it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of really good whiskeys already that are well under $30, and this is $40.
To be fair, they have been bourbons, so they're commonly made in the States or entirely made in the States. So I don't know if importing it, if that has anything to do with it. But I don't know. It's just I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I mean,
$40 for that. Like it's watery. I got cardboard. The nose was pretty flat for me.
I will say it's a really easy sip.
Yes, for
really
sure.
easy sip. I would even say, like, when you have it in your mouth, it's almost like water with just a slight bitterness, and then when you swallow it is when you start to get those flavors.
Yeah, very good finish. I don't know how to describe it. I just know that it's nice.
Yeah, there are a lot of variations, a lot of expressions of Black Label. The more popular one, the cheaper one, the Red Label, still is about $30, which is something that we're gonna have to try because.
Yeah, and I'm to be honest, I'm not looking forward to any label that's beneath Black Label. Like, the ceiling is already pretty low for me, so we would have to go to like the green and the blue.
Yeah,
in
I'm
my
excited for the
opinion.
green, yeah. But I can definitely 100% see why people would get this for mixing. It's kind of like there's, I don't want to be like a dick or anything, but there's so little flavor there that I feel like mixing this is like obvious.
I could see this being a good shot.
True,
what else?
yeah.
I'm thinking of something else.
I mean, I almost finished it.
It'd be a good shot. Yeah, and I kind of sipped it wrong, and there was no burn, no nothing. So they're definitely cutting this back a lot.
We're gonna make I sipped it wrong shirts. I'm ready to go on the rocks.
Okay, let's go on the rocks. Quick sniff and then a sip.
All right, so on the nose, on the rocks, Johnnie Walker Black Label.
Okay, now I'm going in for a sip. Whoa. That was a lot buttery for me. Did you get like butterscotch? No?
Bitterness a little bit. It's bitter for me.
It's way butterier for me, man. Getting that bitterness more than when I drank it neat. I have to say,
it's not terrible.
That was better than neat, in my opinion. Gets a little bitter, but like I got more flavor in the beginning.
On the nose, still got some flavor.
It does change the finish though. The finish is more bitter.
The finish, I mean, the on the rocks is not as bad as other stuff we've tried, but still nothing too extraordinary.
Alan, being someone who went to this whiskey a lot before they were a whiskey guy, how do you feel going back to it and having sipped it probably neat for the first time?
Coming back to it, I can kind of see why our family members and stuff who aren't like whiskey sippers would go to this whiskey. It looks very fancy. It looks good when you bring it out in a social setting. It looks expensive, but there's not a lot there that's too complicated, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like this is for people who like to drink but don't like alcohol, which is like a lot of people. So I can see why this is very popular. By the way, what was your verdict?
So if you're a beginner looking to get into whiskey, this is really easy. It's a little pricey. You could probably find something better for a lot less. But if you insist, you think Black Label's kind of this. If Black Label is kind of like iconic to you, and it's something you've always wanted to try, go ahead. Super simple, super easy, not a lot of complexity, and it looks fancy. I mean, so yeah, I would recommend it to a beginner.
For me, it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. We've had some other basic whiskeys that have been more pleasant, like some of the other bigger brands, like Jack Daniel's. I can recall liking that a lot more than this. Maker's Mark, Crown Royal, you name it, has been a better experience than this. And then $40, that's a little pricey for what you get.
But this is a Scotch. I mean,
this is a Scotch.
It's definitely different than the bourbons we tried.
But I mean, I didn't like Monkey Shoulder, but I can guarantee you if I tried them side by side, I would much rather drink the Monkey Shoulder than the Black Label.
There's a lot more there for sure.
And yeah, there's more underneath the surface that probably my little baby palate couldn't get to. But I mean, I would say no. For the price and what you're getting, it's not gonna excite you, and it might actually turn you off. Like, that's it. This is Black Label, 12 years. This is,
Yeah, if it's at a party or something and it's there, like, I mean, because it probably would be. It's a really popular whiskey.
This is for shots or watering it down more than it already is with like mineral water or something and making like a highball. Other than that, I would not get this at all. But yeah, that's the verdict. What do you think? Should we have one more sip?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
There it is.